got the juice, I got the juice. 10 old Chatham's on. Foolies glad I'm home. Even my haters kinda glad I'm on. Rest in peace to my bag.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Best NHL Clips here, back with episode number 11 of our Be a GM with the Calgary Flames. And we have just finished up the Year 2 draft. In the Year 2 free agency, we're going to bring it all the way up to the preseason, hopefully get a couple months of simulating done. But before we do that, we have a lot of things to go over. So we recently just traded Bugstad for Carey Ramo, and I was looking at some of your comments, and a lot of you were telling me to pick up this player or that player, but I think as this team goes, we have so many good prospects, and they're all developing just the way we want to, so I don't want to waste too much cap space or pick up any unnecessary players. But there is one guy in free agency who's not a prospect who really caught my attention. So before we get into that, I got a little trade I would like to attempt here. It's going to free up a lot of cap space and it's going to make a lot of sense. So I'll be right back very shortly. We have about $4.5 million in cap right now, and this will free up another $3 million. So give me 1 second. So a player on our team who's really just an access right now that we don't need is Matt Stajan. He's currently getting paid $3.1 million, and last year he played in the AHL. I mean, we didn't need him last year. Our team's only better this year. This is going to free up about $3 million cap. So we're going to be throwing him over to the Buffalo Sabres here, and they want to give up that third. So I feel like that is perfect value for Matt Stajan. He is still an 82 overall. I mean, he is a good player, definitely serviceable on a weaker team, but we're just too strong for him. So will that go through? And yes, it did. There we go. Buffalo's happy. We're happy. Frees up some cap. And now I'll show you what my mind's all set up for. So a lot of you guys have been telling me that our offense is still just too weak. We need better people on that second line. But now we got Matthews and Bugstad, who are both 87s overall. And then the next player I want to add onto this, he'll be a perfect winger. I just know it. It's going to go along with this lineup perfectly. He's 26 years old. He wants 4 years at 4.25 at 85 overall. He's usually higher. I'm feeling like he could get the jump back up, but his role is a second liner, so he will be a perfect, absolute perfect second liner on this team. So I'm going to offer him a contract, and I'm not going to go overboard here because I don't want to, spend way more than we can, but 4.725 for the next 4 years is definitely okay with me, and this only makes that second line way stronger. We can move down Frolik and trade players like Backlund or Wilson or Frolik in the regular season come trade deadline if we need to, and this is just going to make those lines way more in depth. And I know we got players like Shunkaruk and Richie who are coming up, but they're still really young. They could definitely use one more year in the minors because they're only like 81 overall, and then next year when all Backlunds and everybody else's contract, like Wilson, when their contracts come up, we'll let them go to free agency. They didn't cost as much. They're not going to be missed. And those players like Richie and Shunkaruk will be perfect to take their spot in the lineup. So on top of that, if we go into things here, if we sort by potential, there's a couple more players I just want to show you guys. Now, I was looking at Harkins, but I don't think I'm going to get him because if you look at that defense category, my God, for a playmaker, absolutely disgusting. I hate it. But C. Jones, medium top 4. He wants 3 years. He's a two-way. And there we go. This is a guy that I would like to, fill up that prospect pool a little bit. So we'll offer him what we can here. And if we go down, Korostelov is another one. He's a right winger, so we're also going to be giving him a little something there. There you go, Korostelov. And there was one more player prospect that I wanted to grab, and that is Neal, top 6 defenseman. This is basically filling up that defensive pool that we lack now because we're going to have Shillington coming up to the big leagues for his rookie season, and we also got rid of Weidman in the offseason. Giordano's getting a little old, so you know what? There's going to be some player progression downwards in that direction. So hopefully this will, fill up some of those. And now we got 2 goalies to choose from here. We got Thompson and DiPietro. And I really don't know which one to choose. It'll be interesting. One's a hybrid, one's a butterfly. but I kind of like the layout of DiPietro's stats a little bit better. They're both 66, 20 years old. So I'm going to give DiPietro a contract here and see if he can amount to anything, filling up that prospect pool of goalies again. Since we traded away Ramo and all of our other great goalies, we just have Franzeb down there in the minors. We definitely need somebody else there because we got Gillies up in the major leagues now, so he's our backup, and we don't really have any prospects in the minors other than Franzeb. So the other goalie I'm looking at, you guys mentioned this one in the comment. I am not going to pronounce that last name. I cannot. But 76 overall at 21 years of age, and he's a high backup. Man, he'll be a perfect backup goalie in the minors this year, and I can't wait to see what he becomes because, I mean, he's already progressed so damn far. So there we go, boys. Let's simulate ahead a little bit. Hopefully we get everybody that we're wanting, especially Johnson. That would be amazing, especially because we could really use him on that second line, but we're not really missing anything. That's the thing. So this is just freeing up more cap space. Stajan wasn't going to be in our lineup anyways. He was just kind of depth, but let's see what we get to here. DiPietro accepted. Very nice. Who else? Anybody else? Cora Steloff, welcome to the organization. Same with you, Neil. Jones. And there we go. We got our other goalie too. So now we're just waiting on Johnson. Here we go. Moment of truth. And he accepts. That's what I like to see. I was extremely happy to accept your offer. So here we go, boys. We now have so many good players in our lineups, and we still got like $4 million to spare, and all kinds of players are coming up to the end of this year and their contracts expiring. 83, 84 overalls who are getting paid way too much from the Calgary organization before I took over. And look at that offense, 95 already. So I mean, that's going to free up even more cap space for the guys we need to sign next offseason. So that's all the signing I'm going to be doing here. I am going to meet you guys at preseason to check out our lines. Oh my goodness, boys. Would you look at some of the player growth that we had in the offseason? This is exactly what I am talking about. We had 54 wins on the season last year, finished second in the regular season, and we got beat out in the first round by the eventual Western Conference finalist St. Louis Blues. So I think this year we're going to do even better than we did last year. I mean, look at these lines. Okay, so we got Matthews with Goudreau and Monahan. And then we got the franchise man Sam Bennett with Bugstad and Poirier, who got a ridiculous jump. So that put Johnson down here as the most unbelievable third-line center in the league with Frolik and Wilson. And then Backlund with Semin and Boma. And then, if we go over to our defense, Shillington, I should say, up to an 87. He's going to be replacing Giordano as our go-to guy once Giordano's out of here. And then we got Brodin and Hamilton and Yoki Paka and this guy right here who we signed in last year's offseason, who we didn't think was going to amount to anything. We played him in the minors last year. Ends up coming in clutch for us this year as that top six pairing for a cheap and effective player. Then if we go over to our goalies, Subban jumped all the way up to 90, boys, at 23 years old. What an amazing trade right there. And then Gillies up to 85 as a backup. Absolutely ridiculous. And then if we go into our special lines here, I'll show you those. That way you guys can tell me if there's anything I need to switch up. I'm going to leave them how they are right now. I like the way they are looking, but you let me know if there's anything we need to do to these special lines. Comment your line suggestions down below. That is for sure, but I think we're on top of the NHL this year. I am expecting second round or better. We started off our very first year in Calgary without making the playoffs. Last year, first round exit. This year has to be second round or better. So know how I was talking about players like Frolik, Wilson, Backlund, Boma, Semin. They're going to be gone after this year. This is our major year to do a playoff run with these guys, because next year we're going to have players like Shunkaruk, Shore, Ritchie, Mangiapane, Pollock, Klimchuk, all these studs down here who are going to tear it up in the minors this year. They're going to be up in the lineup next year. So this will give them that final year to get better. And a lot of these players are, third and fourth liners. But I don't think they're going to lose too much by being down here in the minors. It's worked for them so far. They're just 21 and 22 years old. I mean, it's really only going to benefit them from here, especially Mangiapane. And then they can replace all those players in the offseason. And that will be our setup for the future. The future is so bright. We're so good right now, and the future is just going to get better every single day. And then we got Valiev, our elite defensive prospect here, with Puzek, Seeloff, Jones, and Neal. Those are 2 new pickups. So like I said, getting those defensive prospects back in there. And then now, if we go to our goalies down here in the minors, we got Franzeb starting it off down here at 79. And then there's that guy with the last name, Carroll. And he is actually jumped up to a fringe starter. He was a backup. Remember that when we signed him? He was a backup. And he's up to 77 overall at 21 years age. So that's amazing. So what I'm going to do now is I think I'm just going to jump in, do the first month or so of simulating, get you guys to chime in on any line changes, and hopefully we will be in a position come the end of the season just like we were last year. Like I said, we had 54 wins last year. 54! Like, keep that in your mind, man. That's ridiculous. I want to do even better, though. I think this team can do better. And we got a lot of forward prospects, so we're going to scout some defense here. That's what we're going to focus on this year. But like I said, it's second round or better, boys. Absolutely second round or better. And this is going to be one hell of a season. I can feel it already. I'm so pumped. Hopefully you guys are too. Let me know if you guys have any ideas on the line changes, like I said. So we definitely have players down in the minors that can come up in case of injury. But let's take this 1 month at a time and just kind of see where we're at. I'll probably do 2 months here. Start off it with 2 wins and an overtime loss. All right, so there we go. That's a good start to the season. I'll take it. There's a win. Nice against St. Louis and a loss against Chicago. All right, up against Florida here. What are we going to do? Player morale. Okay, this is the first time they've wanted to talk to me so far, so let's see. Semin and Wilson, what do you got to say? Nice. Okay, so Semin's happy to be on that 4th line. Remember, boys, Semin played the 4th line last year and put up 50 points. I mean, he is... I don't even want to get rid of the guy, ever. I mean, I think next year, when I'm getting rid of everybody else, I'm signing Semin back for that 4th line. Like, he's just too good, man. You need to be out on the ice more. I can't help the team when I'm not getting the minutes. Wilson, if this becomes a problem, man, I got a lot of players who can replace you. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm just going to simulate up to the end of this month. Then we'll take a look at any of those kind of line changes. We'll see if he complains again. It may be a one-time thing. Let's see. Witherspoon has an injured shoulder. Assistant coach replaces player. Yeah, that's what we'll do. He's down 8-0. 8-0 against Florida. Oh my goodness. Oh, and Brody gets a sore shoulder. What is going on here? All right, boys, give me 1 second. I'm going to have to call somebody up. Absolutely fantastic. The one extra I have for injuries in case we have problems with our defensive injuries is injured down here in the minors. So I guess we're going to be bringing up Puzek. I mean, he's not a top 6, but he definitely has some decent stats. We'll bring him up and put him in the lineups. Give me 1 minute. We're going to give him a shot in all the lines here just because I know that Brody will be back very shortly, so we'll see what he does there. But what do we got? Extras. Oh, Brody was in the shootout. That's right. Okay, we got Bennett, Monahan, Goudreau, Matthews. Maybe we'll put in a little Tyler Johnson. Actually, no. I have an idea. Let's put in Shillington. Give him the chance. Boom. Oh, he's dropped down to an 85? No way. You can't be serious. What's going on here? Starting lineups. Let me check this out real quick. Yeah, down to an 85. Okay, well, he's a top 4 defenseman. I'm playing him a little bit high there. But, I mean, everybody else is a top 4 other than Giordano. Even Giordano's a top 4. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave Shillington. He's only going to get better by being there. So, let me just edit these lines, and we'll start with the simulation again. All right, here we go, boys. Big game against Anaheim. And Oh, wait, I think it has us stuck on the Stockholm Heat. So we can't see who won that one. All right. It's going to be a good year for rookies. Good. Let's stop the simulation. See where we're at. And let's see. Stockholm's at 4-0 so far. Nice. That's what I like to see. And we got 2 wins there as well. So we're on a 4-game winning streak. 7-1-1 to start the year. And let's bring it right up to the first. And then hopefully all our players will be back. Another loss against Chicago. We can't seem to beat them, man. I swear to God. Brody is back. And we only got 1 loss while he was gone. So that's fucking amazing. Let me put him back in the line. So Brody's actually jumped up to an 88 here. I didn't even notice. So I'm going to move him up beside Giordano just like last year. We'll put Shillington back on the top 4 pairing. Maybe that'll help him grow even more. I mean, he's only 20 years old. So he's going to do great things no matter what. So let me just finish up with the roster moves here and we will get back into things. All right, here we go. Come on. Against Minnesota, the last one of the month, and we get the win. 9-2-1. Player morale. Let's check it out. 85 locker room chemistry. I wish everybody in that locker room could just put aside their differences and focus on winning games. I agree, Semen. And actually, Wilson never said anything back to me. So I'm assuming everything's all good there with him. I was going to consider some changes, but nope, it seems everything's going good there. So we are at 9-2-1 right now. I mean, obviously we won't keep up this pace the whole year, but I definitely think, like I said, we are going to be better than last year. We are going to get more than 54 wins. I can feel it, boys. So let's see who's doing what for us, and then I think I'm going to call it here. Let you guys chime in. Let me know if I need any changes. I mean, I think we're doing just fine. And then we will continue on into the rest of the regular season, probably bring it up to the trade deadline at the next episode. So here we go. We got Bennett, the franchise man, 9 points already, not bad. Matthews with only 7 on that first line, though. But we got Bugstad on the second line, working well with Bennett, the franchise man. Look at that, the double Bs. The double Bs, they're a B+, man. I love it. With Goudreau leading us. Monahan down here only has 6, but Johnson's holding his own. I like it. I like it. The only minus on this team is Boma, and I'm pretty sure he's on that 4th line. Oh, no, we got a couple other 4th liners. Poirier, actually. No, that's 2nd. Okay. And Shen, the top 6, man. All right. So good to know. Good to know. All right, let's check out how our goalies are doing, and then we'll call it a day. So we got Subban putting up points for us, too. 3 shutout. Yo. No! Look at the save percentages. 3 shutouts already. .956. Gillies with a .965. Oh my god. Only allowed 13 goals in 10 games. 13! Oh no. 1.290 GAA. And look at this. Under 1 GAA for Gillies. Unbelievable. Boys, we're a force to be reckoned with. So there we go. That's where I'm going to call it. You guys know what to comment about. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Hopefully you did. And until next time, have a great day, you sexy studs.